Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Hyperconscious Podcast. Alan, what is hyperconscious?
Once you understand why something is the way that it is, now you have the power to change it. Great conversations with great people and great questions are the keys to the kingdom of unlocking your consciousness.
Every single action that you do starts as a thought. When you control the way you think, you will control the way you act, and you will control the way you live. That is hyperconscious. Geographically. This is cool. So I would say make sure that pretty face is shown.
Yes, true.
They're going to want to see that thing. They're going to want to see that thing, Alan. That face. You good?
Ready?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another very special, as always, episode of the Hyperconscious Podcast. Alan is flexing, even though you're not going to be able to see him on the camera because
you're talking.
I'm the one talking, I guess. Today we're going to talk about growing pains. So if you are trying to grow beyond your current capabilities, you are going to face some sort of growing pains.
Yeah, for sure.
We're going to talk a lot about our specific ones, what we've dealt with on the podcast, but also there are some things that you might be able to expect if you are also focused on growth.
Yes.
And we're going to try to touch on some of those as well. So when you do become as hyper-conscious as you can be, you'll kind of know what to expect.
I think that's huge. So what this episode is getting around people who are 10, 20 years ahead of you. They've played this game before. So you've grown and changed drastically in the last year and a half or so. I also have in the last 2 to 3 years. And, you know, if you want to be sort of someone who's growth-oriented, you're going to have to stretch your mind. You're going to have to go outside your comfort zone consistently. And that's constantly what we talk about on this podcast because it's so important. But I think because you're on this journey with us, this hyper-conscious journey, we want to share with you some of the pitfalls, some of the difficulties, some of the challenges we've faced so that you, when they do come up, you're not like shocked that they came up. You realize you're not alone. You can reach out and talk to us about it. And you might be able to take away some things that we've taken away because you and I will go fail forward and then we'll talk about it every time.
Every time.
Even off the mics.
Yes.
Right.
Especially off the mic. We talk about this stuff. We just put cameras in front of us and mics. This is what we talk about most of the time.
Yep.
We're up until 4 o'clock the other night.
Yep.
Just talking about life.
Saturday night.
Going back. That's what we did on Saturday night. We stayed up until 4 o'clock, going back to old reps, watching old YouTube videos of us, which, guys, it's super hard.
Yeah.
It's super hard to see yourself even 10 episodes ago.
Yeah.
It's like we're different people, and it's just... So one of the things is feedback.
Yes.
We want to do big things. We want to change the world, right? We want to change the world.
100%.
If you want to change the world, you kind of have to put yourself out there. And when you put yourself out there, you're going to get feedback regardless of whether or not you ask for it.
Yes.
So I think that's one of the reasons why I've just been asking for feedback lately. Because I know I'm going to get it no matter what, so I might as well ask for it.
So do you think that you have linked up in your mind that feedback is a good thing?
Yes.
Okay.
So, for instance...
Can you go into that?
I can. I had what people would call a failure, quote-unquote failure, with a woman, and instead of tucking my tail between my legs and running away, I messaged her and I asked what her thoughts were behind this failure.
Yeah.
And it was painful, for sure. For sure it was painful. But I also know, and knew at the time, that getting more information on the subject will only help me in the future.
Yeah.
And I feel like maybe it is a failure, quote-unquote failure. Maybe it didn't work like I wanted it to. But there's two ways to go about it. You either tuck your head in the sand and pretend it never happened and learn nothing.
Learn nothing.
Yep. Or you ask the person and hopefully they're willing to share with you, which she was kind enough to do. The post I put up today said, look, if you're standing on the other side of a 10-foot wall and you only had one shot to climb over it, how confident are you going to be that you're going to make it over? Not very.
Not very.
But if I say try as many times as you want.
Yeah. You'll make it eventually.
You make it eventually.
Couple bruises, couple scrapes, maybe
Yeah,
break
but
a
you're going
leg.
to get bruises and scrapes anyway.
Yeah.
No matter what you're doing.
So let's bring some context to that story a little bit. So I also had a similar situation. So Kevin inspired me big time to proactively seek feedback. And to bring this down to earth for the listeners too, like when we're watching Netflix, for example, one of our favorite shows, like we're not getting any feedback on ourselves. We're just enjoying someone else and like a show or something like that. Whereas if you are trying to do something extraordinary, if you don't achieve the result that you hope for, that's feedback. And so in your case, you went on a few dates with this person, and you didn't know really what went wrong. You guys stopped talking, and then you asked her take on the situation.
Yeah.
And I think that took a lot of courage. And then it inspired me to do the same thing because I had met a beautiful girl at the networking event that we talked about on the last Scratching the Surface episode. And so I messaged her and asked her, like, just curious, like, I thought we had a good dialogue going there. I'm big on feedback. No harm, no foul, but, why did we stop talking? And I think we should talk about the responses we got because mine actually was a very positive response. So shout out to this person, you know who you are, and we are still talking, a little bit organically, but I got a really good positive response, and Kevin did not necessarily. Do you want to go into kind of how that felt, and like, are you glad you did it?
Oh yeah. So she kind of said something that I felt like what she said made sense to me. There's a lot of change going on in me. Some days I don't know exactly who I am because there's been so many changes. And I'm trying to figure out this new identity that I have, this new confidence that I have, this new story that I have. I'm a different person than I was a year ago.
Yes,
the things I talk about are different. The things I care about are different.
Yep.
So I guess getting that across to somebody who's never met me before is more of a challenge than I expected it to be.
You mentioned to me that you feel like you don't know where you fit sometimes.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of like your new set point of your metabolic set rate. Like it takes a while to lock it in.
Yeah.
So you are this new person who has, changed and grown a ton, but you don't have a lot of experiences to lock that in. So you're kind of trying to navigate this new world in a way because your inner world has changed, but your outer world hasn't necessarily.
Yeah.
This is what Growing Pains is all about.
It's kind of like the goggles I see through are differently, but other people don't see the goggles yet necessarily.
Yeah.
And understandably so. These are fresh goggles. I just got them.
So do we want to talk about the feedback you got?
I honestly, I really commend this young lady for just telling me.
Yeah.
Like, just tell me like it is. I can handle it.
Yep.
Just tell me like it is. She basically said I felt like you were kind of faking it. Like you were kind of putting on a show. And I was like, honestly, I can see why you would. Not my intention. I try to be the most genuine person I can, but it's like, it's hard to be genuine when you're not sure who you are, what your original is, what your original copy is. So I'm just at a very confusing time in my life.
Yeah.
And if I didn't ask, who knows the story I would have told myself.
I'm so glad you just said that.
Yeah, man.
And that's what inspired me to ask, because I was unsure if I came on too strong or if I, scared her, or if she didn't like who I was. Maybe she saw social media and that was overwhelming.
Guys,
I don't know.
this is your fucking life.
This is
and
the
it's
thing. Yeah.
you can hide from feedback for as long as you want. You can hide from the weight on the scale. You can hide from your bank account balance. You can hide from everything. But it's going to catch up to you eventually.
Yeah.
It's going to catch up to you eventually.
The analogy for this is, remember my last show prep. I didn't have a coach. I wasn't taking progress pictures. I wasn't sending my weigh-ins to Nate. And so I got all the feedback on stage. And trust me, that hurt way worse.
All right, so we're 11 minutes in.
We are.
It flies. It
does
flies.
fly.
So
Okay.
I want you to quickly hit on something that you have.
Okay.
And then I'll jump back. We'll just jump back and forth.
We wanted to talk about a lot of different things.
These 20-minute episodes, guys, they go as fast as they go for you. Trust me, they go quicker for us. We're used to an hour and a half, 2 hours, so
Yeah, right.
it's definitely interesting.
And we have a lot to talk about, so maybe we'll do a Growing Pains part 2.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to.
I think we might have to. So the website,
Yes.
We wanted to touch on that. So we are creating a hyperconscious podcast website.
Yes.
And that was overwhelming as
Oh,
hell.
could be the most overwhelming thing ever.
Right out of the gate.
Yeah.
So you and I got together last week, and earlier this week. No, last week. Sorry.
Yeah, it's Monday.
Wasting time. And basically we looked at a bunch of different websites we looked at Joe Rogan's website. We looked at Brendan Burchard, one of my heroes' websites. And it's kind of like we're looking at the polished product.
Yeah.
And it's fucking like we're at ground zero. And we're like, Brendan Burchard's website is unbelievable.
Yeah, it's next level.
It's so good.
Yeah.
And it's like, fuck, like, where do we even start? So talk about growing pains, right? You set these huge goals. We want to have an awesome website, next level website for our listeners. And you're looking up at the 10,000 stairs, looking at Brendan Burchard's website, Joe Rogan, Tony Robbins. Who else's website did we look at?
Grant Cardone.
Grant Cardone. I think we looked at Ty Lopez's
Our buddy
website.
Travis Chappell.
Oh, yeah, Travis
You
Chappell.
got a
Great.
dope website, my friend.
Yeah, episode 48, Travis Chappell.
Love it.
Shout out to you, brother. And we figured out what we like, what we don't like. And then it was like, okay, shit, where do we even start? Right? And so it's like, get some photos together. Let's start writing our bios. It's just the whole thing. And so when you shoot for something remarkable, just expect that the day-to-day is going to be challenging. People say like it doesn't have to be. I really don't agree.
Yeah, I mean, if it's not challenging, how much are you really learning?
And how much are you really growing?
And yeah, and how, like, I feel like in order to overcome something that's way beyond your capabilities, your current capabilities, you kind of have to fail a little bit.
Yeah, and you have to grow in order to eventually
Yes, but
do
you
it.
also have to have, that's why it's so important to find your fucking thing.
Yes.
Because
Yep.
I used this analogy the other night, 3:30 in the morning. If, guys, think about this for a second. If somebody you love, whoever you love more than anybody on the face of the earth is at the top of a mountain, and you got to get there, you'll get there.
To save their life.
To save their life, you will get there.
Yeah, you'll find a way.
But if it was an animal that you're terrified of, your why power just isn't there. You're not going to be willing to go through the same things. This podcast is my life.
Yep.
So I'm willing to do just about whatever it takes,
Anything.
other than sexual favors for money. And that might maybe one day. But your why, when you have your purpose, your passion, when you see that
Yeah.
and you find that, you really, we don't say can't, but you kind of can't go back.
Yeah.
When you feel what it feels to be lit up from inside with your passion, it's like, I'm not going to go back.
No.
I'm not going back.
Reasons come first, answers come second.
Yeah.
I wrote about this on my Instagram not long ago. Reasons come first, results come second. If your reason for going to the gym is just to look good on the beach, you're not going to be as in shape as you or me or Kevin.
Right.
Not because you can't, but because your reason is much smaller.
Why would you push yourself as hard as we do?
Exactly. You've got to create some really, really fucking strong reasons. I actually wrote out, super fast, I wrote out everything I care about. This was like a month ago or so. I was in a really dark place. I had gotten out of a serious relationship, and I just wanted to really reestablish my why power. Like, why am I going through all this pain? Why am I doing this? And I just wrote out, I actually have it on this notebook right now. I wrote a full fucking page of every person and everything that I care about deeply. Emotion moves mountains. And you got to get emotional about your dreams and your goals if you ever really want to achieve them.
So we'll hop quickly to something that is emotional for many people, and this is something that I have experienced. It's just part of this. It's part of the behind the scenes of growing. You're going to most likely lose people close to you, and you might say, "Well, not me, Kev. I don't have to because these are my best friends. Okay, but are you going to choose your best friends over your passion? What if your best friends share the same passion? Think about how much easier it would be." I'm not saying you have to get rid of people. I'm not saying go X people out of your life. I'm saying that through time, there's a good chance that you guys are just going to grow apart because you're going to be so motivated to do whatever it is you want to do. And a lot of people will say, well, that can't be your thing then, because what about your friends? Guys, I have great friends, and the friends that I have all support the mission, and the people who don't aren't on the team anymore. And that's just the way it has to be. Yeah. That's just the way it has to be. I, for the longest time, didn't believe in myself. I can't have people around me who don't believe in me or themselves.
Yeah. There's no nobility in being less, and being around anyone who doesn't share the same core values, congruent with your mission, your purpose, your thing, whatever you want to frame it as, is going to inevitably make you be less. So, like you said,
especially if you have to be less around them.
That's the key.
If you cannot be yourself around somebody, you should not be around them.
Yeah, certainly not for long periods of time. There's the 3 minute, 3 hour, 3 day rule. So Jim Rohn, shout out to him. Basically, there's some people you can be around for 3 minutes, other people you can be around for 3 hours, and other people you can spend 3 days with. Kevin is someone I can spend 3 days with, hands down. And we're going to get better. We're going to enjoy ourselves. We're going to laugh. It's going to be great.
We're always laughing.
If you do want to start creating a dream team of friends, a tribe that is going to support you and believe in you, the core values episode, I think, is super important.
Yeah, I agree.
For sure.
I agree. I know a lot of people reached out and said, I didn't even think of that.
I know.
And guess what? Neither did I.
Yeah, until failure.
Right.
Right. Yep. As a matter of fact, it was getting out of my last serious relationship that got me to start thinking about core values.
Right. And we sat down and wrote them out, as cliche as that may sound.
Yep.
And knowing helps.
Yeah.
When you know what you want, it helps.
Yeah.
What else you got?
One of my mentors on Saturday, I went to dinner with him, and there's some big opportunities potentially in the mix.
Yes.
Talk about being in over your head, swimming with the sharks. I've got a potential. I'll keep this super. So I'm not really supposed to talk about a ton of this, so I'll keep it high level. I've got somewhat of a Shark Tank situation coming up, potentially with some extraordinarily wealthy people. This is in the very early stages, but let's just say I've had to get really clear about my business plan and my vision really quick. And being in rooms with people who understand the global perspective, understand the global economy, have literally been in rooms where, they've run successful multi-million-dollar, hundreds of millions of dollars, billion-dollar businesses. It's just unbelievably challenging to navigate these conversations, especially to stay in rapport, as a younger, this person is 30 years older than me. Oh, no, 20 to 25 years older than me. And it's just, they're so unbelievably intelligent, and I couldn't possibly know what they know, but I do know some things, right? Especially when it comes to business to consumer market, social media, some of the younger tech generation type of stuff. Anyways, long story short, getting into uncomfortable rooms and staying in that discomfort, you're just going to learn so much. Huge shout out to this person. I've learned more from you than anyone ever. You have taught me so much. I really appreciate the time you've given me. He offered to take me to dinner on Saturday. We went to the gym on Sunday together, and you make me so much better, and I hope that I can return the favor, especially regarding his fitness goals, which is awesome.
I love that. And also we talked about a little bit of that on the fear chasing episode. So if you listen to the fear chasing episode and then you listen to this one, it'll make sense. When you go out fear chasing, you get feedback.
Yes.
That is part of growing pains. That is what these growing pains are. And I know maybe you don't have the same goals. Maybe you don't want to be like Alan. You don't want to be the greatest speaker of all time, the greatest men's natural aesthetics model of all time. Maybe you don't want to have the most successful podcast of all time. Whatever it is, you will have growing pains associated with it. And I can promise you this. I can promise you that the growing pains may hurt in the moment, but avoiding pain and growth will hurt long term.
Yes.
For sure.
In the form of regret.
So another thing, we wanted to talk about this. When Alan and I first linked up, we said we were going to do 52 podcasts this year. We were going to do one a week, and we started off doing that.
Yep.
And what happened
we had to grow into that goal.
Yes, it was hard.
Yep.
Hard because we couldn't get guests.
Yeah.
Everything was super hard.
What do we got?
We got seconds left.
Okay.
But the point is, every time we failed or we felt some sort of growing pain, we realized that that's all it is a growing pain that comes with growth. And we just have to continue moving forward. Because what's the other option?
Yeah, quit.
To quit.
Give up.
And I have never quit tattooed on my arm for a reason.
You're goddamn right
you know what I'm saying?
We set an intention for 52 episodes in 1 year, and all of a sudden we have to grow into that. We don't have enough guests. All of a sudden we start prospecting, we take massive action, and then guess what? We get a new problem. We have too many guests.
Woo!
Oh, and there's the ding.
We can finish it.
We have so many guests now. Now how do we travel? How do we get all of these done? How do we fit in the post-production
And now
work?
we do remote podcasts.
Yes,
because
exactly.
we realized we were only basically on the East Coast if we had to be in person.
Yep.
We have done interviews with 2 people from Australia.
Yep. One from England.
England.
California, a bunch of California. We got another one tomorrow.
Yeah,
California.
Las Vegas. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Canada.
Unbelievable.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So if you have giant goals, you're going to have growing pains associated with the levels that you're at. That's just part of it.
Yeah.
That's just part of it.
Can I do the quote before we go?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hammer
Last
it.
quote. I have a book that I'm reading right now by Napoleon Hill. It's like a textbook. It's great. The Law of Success. He said this. For every 10 men who are physically lazy, there are 10,000 with stagnant minds. And stagnant minds are the breeding places of fear. Feedback sucks in the moment, but the fear that you overcome, on the other side of that fear is self-confidence, belief, progress, growth. Beautiful, beautiful things. You don't want to be someone who's stagnant. And the only way to avoid feedback and avoid growing pains is to be stagnant. Set big, hairy, audacious goals and then stretch into them.
Love it. And all failure is feedback. Like when you fail, you learn. That's what feedback is.
Yep.
So maybe I'm just gonna stop quoting failure and just say feedback from now on because that's what it is. So
I like that.
Yeah, right. So guys, we wanted to take a moment to thank everybody who has been listening. We just hit the 10,000 listen mark.
10,000.
Which is beautiful because it took us 6 months to get to 5,000, and then it took us 2 months to double that.
Yep.
So things are going well. We're going to call it Hyperconscious Nation.
Hyperconscious Nation.
Everybody out there that is messaging me, that is messaging Alan, that is posting our teaser clips for us on their stories and things like that. We appreciate you guys so very much. Getting messages warms my heart.
Me too.
It genuinely warms my heart. And I know you have a couple specific people you wanted to reach out to.
Yeah, so Gina from the Netherlands
Yes.
keeps on sharing the
Yes.
podcast. Thank you, Gina. You're awesome.
You are the best.
I appreciate your kind words. She also wrote us a review that we have, for some reason, iTunes, we've not been able to see
iTunes
it yet.
hates us.
Yeah, but also thank you, Gina, for always sharing the parts of me talking.
Right.
And not Kevin.
Right. I mean, it is what it is.
No, I'm just kidding.
No, we're teasing.
Also, I wanted to shout out Amy. You went to the mall with Amy and
Yes.
Fear Chase with her. She is now my fitness client. I've had an overwhelming day of gratitude today from both my fitness clients, the reviews that they've shared of me, working with me, and then the 10,000 listens. And you and I have been getting messages left and right of people saying that they're becoming hyper-conscious, they're changing their lives, they've never thought of these things before, and they love the podcast. So thank you all so much. One thing I also wanted to talk about was my one-on-one fitness coaching. I have 2 spots left. I do a full weekly lab report with each of my clients. All of them are getting the scale to move in the right direction at the right rate, and as soon as that changes, we adjust accordingly. This is fully customized to you. If you're interested in getting serious, please reach out to me on Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube, LinkedIn, any of those. And thank you all so much for supporting and being hyperconscious.
Yeah. You guys are really supporting our dream.
Yeah.
You know, and that's
By chasing your dreams.
by chasing your dreams. And that the mission statement. What is the mission statement? I want to have the most successful podcast of all time, not just for a life of freedom for myself, but to prove to others that they can have any life they want. That is exactly what this is, and that's exactly what you guys are doing. A couple specifics. I wanted to say thank you to Sonia. You have literally liked every single podcast post I think I've ever put up. So I appreciate you greatly. Keep killing the fitness thing. You are next level. Brittany reached out to me today. Brittany, thank you so much for reaching out. I'm so glad it's helping, and I'm so glad that you are pushing to become hyper-conscious. And our buddy Baz is a ride or die from the beginning.
Yeah, he's the OG.
We appreciate you, brother, and keep chasing dreams.
Thank you all so much. We will talk to you soon on next Wednesday. Or no.
Sunday.
Yep.
All right, ladies and gents. Well, this is another quick hitter. We're 5 minutes over, but it's okay because we're happily we just want to be gracious with you guys, and we want to say thank you. We appreciate you so much, and honestly, we couldn't do it without you. So
Yep. And we just scratched the surface.
we just scratched the surface.
Talk to you soon.
Bye. Ladies and gentlemen, we hope you enjoyed that episode all about growing pains. Up next, we have Kayla Kraft. She is the creator and host of the Mommy Millionaire podcast, and she focuses on helping women turn their passions into money.
Yes. This rep was awesome. I have 2 full pages of notes. She has undying belief in herself, digs really deep into the root so that she can change the fruit, talks about core values, talks about the struggles she had in her marriage, talks about one of my heroes, Jim Rohn, a lot. Gonna be awesome.
Don't miss it.
Talk to you soon.
Bye. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for listening to another episode of the Hyper Conscious Podcast.
Going hyper-conscious will absolutely change your life, because if you understand why something is the way it is, now you have the power to change it. If you going hyper-conscious with us has changed your life in any way, please share this episode with one of your friends, because the more people that go hyper-conscious, the better this world's going to be for everybody.
And if you would kindly leave us a 5-star review on iTunes, that would help us make more people hyper-conscious, and we would be greatly appreciative.
Thank you.
Bye.
Jesus. Dude.
What?
Studio.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Can I talk about the book? You only got 20 minutes though, so you. Theoretically, you have read the book. You have 10. Theoretically,
You got a little fuzz?
Well,
That thing is the loudest clicking.
Yeah, but you can't hear it on here.
Okay. I can hear it though.
Your mother. Growing pains.
Growing pains.
Yeah, we'll just open it like that.
Okay.
And then I think we should try to quickly tie it from.
We can bring up the other night when we with
Watched
Matt
it.
and Carly. We should
I should throw it in my mouth.
when we sit. Nice.
I'm fine.
20 minutes though, and then it comes out as like 32, like on the rep. Like I think that's a bad look.
Well, yeah, it's not gonna be 32.
Yeah, no, 12 minutes
Well, I'm
worth of
saying,
gratitude.
I'm
How
thinking-
grateful fucking are we?
Well, I'm very grateful.
Yeah, very.
very thankful.
If I forget things.
Website.
Website.
I'll try to touch
Oh
on that.
yeah. Website.
Special as always, episode of the.
Oh my knee. Oh my knee.
Just imagine your nuts not getting crushed every time you have to move. What are you doing with that? Just so I know. Don't know.
Well, you're gonna talk most of the time.
No, I don't ever talk most of the time.
So how would you like to open it up?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another very special, as always, episode of the Hyperconscious Podcast. Today's going to be another 20-minute job. We're going to talk about your mother. Growing pains. Yeah. Jesus, this is going to be interesting.
Dude, we only have 20 minutes.
I know, man.
Talk
There's so
about-
much shit. Oh, I should throw it in my mouth.
When we sit. Nice.
I'm fine. I swallowed it.
When we sit.
Well, I'm very grateful.
Yeah,
very thankful. I think
Shit show.
I can't do this.
Interesting.
Yeah, dude, there's so much stuff.